Welcome to episode 50 of Max Men Talk Hockey, the only channel where 17-year-olds have the guts to interview pro and junior hockey players. As always, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel and catch us soon on Apple Podcasts and Spotify and, of course, YouTube. I'm Max, and today we're interviewing Koehn Ziemmer out of the Prince George Cougars in the WHL. Koehn, thank you so much for joining.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Yeah, of course. Max, you want to get us started?
Sure. So walk us through kind of youth hockey growing up for you. Was there a lot of talent growing up, and how would that kind of lead to your path to the WHL?
Yeah, so I grew up in Marithorpe, Alberta, really small town population, about 1,300 outside of Edmonton, and grew up playing minor hockey in Marithorpe, and there wasn't much. It was just a team with about two and a half forward lines, if we were lucky, and just growing up with my friends playing hockey, and I didn't skate much in the summers. Kind of had a weird route to the WHL compared to most kids, but I think looking in the long run, I think it really helped me.
Yeah, it's great. And I mean, you played for a number of teams. So Elite Prospects has Spruce Grove, PAC Saints, PAC Saints, moved to OHA Edmonton, then St. Albert Raiders. What would you say was like the best experience for you, and why out of all those teams?
Yeah, I think my Bantam year is pretty special there, the draft year for the WHL. But I think one of the funnest years of hockey I've ever played was in St. Albert with the midget AAA team there. We had a really good team. I think we were 26, 1-4 or something. We had a really good record, but got cut short because of COVID. But that was probably one of the funnest years of my hockey career.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
Yeah, so you were drafted pretty high up in the WHL draft. How early on did you know you were getting WHL interest? And once you got drafted, how was the process after that like?
Yeah, I think going into my Bantam draft year, I think I knew there's a chance of me getting drafted pretty high. So I thought best case scenario, I go to OHA Edmonton, get some more exposure. They had a really good development program there. So I went there to kind of get more development from it, and just lots of big tournaments that we went to, and there's a lot of scouts watching those games. So yeah, I went there for that, and then draft day came along, and it was pretty special, exciting, not really knowing where you're going. But the day went on. I was at school when it happened, actually, and my mom's office, she works at the school with me, so it was pretty cool going through that with her and a couple of friends there. So it was a pretty cool experience. And from there on, you can't play that year, so you just go to the camp. So I went to the camp that next season there, and played a few preseason games. I got fortunate enough to play two regular season games that year as well.
Yeah, it's awesome. And throughout your time in Prince George, you went from playing 2 games, having 0 points, and then the next season you played like a fourth of the season, and you had 12 points, and then you came out last year with 57 points, and now you have 89 points in 68 games. So talk about like your development and who really helped you get to the next level and be one of the best players in the WHL and on your team.
Yeah, I think you look at my first year there with the 22 games was the COVID year, so it's all the games we could play. So it was pretty different. You don't have playoffs, so the coach gives you a little more leeway for the young guys. I was one of the young guys on the team. We had a pretty long rope to go with, and it came with a lot of development. So I think that year really helped me, just being able to get kind of a sniff for the league and the speed for it going into the next year. And then my 17-year-old year was the first real year. I thought had a pretty good year. Played with Riley Height that whole season. We were pretty much on the same line the whole season, built some chemistry. And going into this year, we had a pretty good year. I think we had one of the best lines in the league with Wheatcroft there as well. So it was pretty special. But we did a great job in developing our team, and we had a really good run this year in playoffs. Cut short by Seattle. They're a pretty good team.
Awesome.
Yeah, kind of piggybacking off what Ben said. You're just 1 point under a point per game in your entire WHL career, which is like insane. It's one of the things scouts look so highly of. And looking at your draft ranking for the upcoming year, you've been ranked as high as like 21st overall. So how important is consistency to you, and how do you stay consistent on a night-to-night basis?
Yeah, I think consistency is one of the biggest things. It's really hard to stay consistent throughout a whole year. Lots of players go through big droughts and they get snake bitten. So it's just hard on the confidence when you're in a drought. But yeah, I think being confident is one of the biggest things to stay consistent as well. Going into this draft year, I think I was pretty consistent all year this year, and going in extra, I want to be more consistent than I was this year. Even just get better every day.
Yeah, and I know you're in Prince George. I believe that's in BC. But whenever you played the Regina Pats, how good was Connor Bedard? We haven't really had many WHL players in a while, so I always have to ask that question.
Yeah, he's a special player. He does everything the right way, obviously, and I think he scored twice against us. He sold out our building and then came in and I think they beat us 5-1 that night, and he had 2 goals. So yeah, he had a pretty good game against us.
Yeah, I mean, you see the stats and everything. That's kind of wild these days that someone just comes in and lights up a whole junior season. It's kind of ridiculous.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I know he's a special player.
Yeah, Chicago's gonna get a great guy. So yeah, and just kind of like outside of hockey, like how is Prince George as a place? I mean, I've never been to British Columbia anyways. I know it's kind of off the beaten path, but how is it as a city, and how's the whole billet situation and everything?
Yeah, it's pretty much in the middle of nowhere up there, northern BC. But yeah, no, I am fortunate enough to have a really good billet family. I can't ask for anything better than what they do for me, year in and out here. But no, I'm a big fan of the city. It's kind of outdoorsy place, and I'm a pretty outdoorsy guy, as you can see from the antlers there. So yeah, there's lots for me to do up there. It's kind of isolated, so I like that. And the city really gets behind the team there when we're doing well.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, staying kind of outside of hockey for a second. My new favorite question to ask is, are you the aux guy in the locker room? And if you are, what's like your go-to song?
I'm definitely not the aux guy in the locker room. I'm more of a country guy, and in the dressing room, that's not really our vibe there. But there's some days. I think I had it once this year, and it was just all country, and that's pretty much the one time I got it. Never got it back again.
You got kicked off.
Exactly.
Yeah, what's your country guy? Because Max and I are also big country guys.
Zach Bryan's probably my go-to. Him and Morgan Wallen are kind of unbeatable. Chris Stapleton too. I like him.
Yeah. Our coach is a big fan of Chris Stapleton. I handle the aux on the bus rides.
Okay.
I don't play hockey, but just we have long bus rides. Like this year, we had 11-hour bus ride down to Tennessee. I had the aux the whole way, and it was just country the whole time. So
that's awesome.
I mean, going down to Tennessee kind of set the mood and everything, but yeah, it was a good bus ride down. So kind of just relaxing music.
Exactly, that's perfect.
Yeah, and I mean, also, how's the? I mean, I'm trying to think of something along the lines of like what Max said with just the locker room and stuff. But how do you describe like the culture and everything on the team, and how can you really kind of how would you describe the culture, the locker room in Prince George, and like the attitude of everyone trying to get better and everything? And so
PG was been in the bottom of the WHL the last 4 or 5 years before the last 2 years I've been there. And I think just no one wants to go back to that losing mentality, and we all want to win so bad, obviously. And I think just wanting to get better every day. Everyone wants to be the best there can be. Everyone's watching throughout the year. So I think our culture is really good. We got a pretty tight team as well. We got lots of bus trips to get closer, but I think our team's really tight, and we push each other to our limits.
Yeah, totally. I mean, Max, I've been doing this since 2020, and you're the first Prince George guy we had interviewed. We mostly interview. I mean, again, it's not like smaller market teams, bigger market teams. We kind of just get whoever we can. Mm-hmm. But the guys who we always get come from like the big name WHL programs like Kelowna and Saskatoon and Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
like we got a guy from Victoria and a guy from Tri-City. So, and I think a guy from Swift Current, I might be wrong, but yeah, oh yeah, definitely a couple Moose Jaw guys. But yeah, it's like I kind of forget sometimes, and don't take offense to this just because I'm not up to date as much. I refresh. I look at WHL kind of on the opposite side of the continent from us, but
Exactly.
yeah, kind of look every so often. But you guys have really done a good job this year, so I remember looking at you guys and just always bottom of the league when I started, and now it's starting to climb up. So that's a really good change.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, definitely, Max.
Yeah, I was taking a look at on Instagram at some of the off seasons NHL players have. Swayman right now is salmon fishing up in Alaska, and like Ryan O'Reilly shooting weighted pucks every day. So what does your off season look like? Like what do you like try to focus on, and how early after the season ends do you get like in the gym and stuff like that?
Yeah, so for this summer, it's a pretty big summer. So I took about a week off of training, and then I got back in the gym. Just the Combine was this last week, so just to get ready for that was the big part. But I think there's a good mix between relaxing and getting in shape in the gym still. So yeah, I probably have 5 days a week in the gym, sometimes 6, but I spend a lot of time on the lake. We got a boat, so I'm out there pretty often, and I like to get out and do things with my friends too. So yeah, it's a mixture of both, and you gotta balance it.
Yeah, definitely. And you mentioned the Combine. How was it up in Buffalo? And how are the workouts? And we'll get to the interviews later. But how were the workouts to start?
Yeah, it was good. It was the first 4 days we just kind of did your own thing, but for the workout part and the testing was good. It was pretty easy 3-day thing. Yeah, I just got it over with. The hardest part was the VO2 bike for sure.
Yeah, the one that's like the big bike that I think last year Uri Slavkovsky, a video of him on it went viral.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Bedard also this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he had with the big mask. You got the big mask.
Yeah, that. What does that measure and stuff? I've never been on.
So I'm not 100% sure what it measures, but I think it just measures like your breath in and breath out and how well you're breathing, and it just measures your breathing pretty much.
Got it. Makes sense, Max.
Yeah, I'll save the interviews. I know Ben wants to ask you, so I'll let him do the question. But I heard on this year they had this app on your phone where you could like see all your entire schedule with the interviews. Is that the experience you had too?
Yeah, we had the app, the NHL Events app on our phone, and pretty much just notified you when you had something to go, and notified you when all the meals were and all the meetings that you had. So it was pretty handy.
Yeah, it's awesome. And when you were like walking around from station to station, how often were you bumping into like guys you play with, play against? How was that?
Yeah, it was pretty cool being with all those guys. You know, being a late 04, I don't know many of the 05, so I kind of just know of them, and it was pretty cool being able to see them all. And you bump into Hyder like I did a couple times there, and seeing him was good too. So yeah, it's pretty cool being able to see all like the top prospects in the world all come together.
Yeah, that's sick. And I guess with the interviews, who were the interviews that stuck out to you the most, and what were the crazy questions? I know there's always like what animal is apparently a basic one these days.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What was like?
So I actually didn't have too many crazy questions. No real crazy interviews either. I know a couple guys said they got ripped into or whatever, but I didn't have any too bad ones. But yeah, it was pretty simple. It was pretty cool meeting with teams that you grew up watching. I'm from Edmonton, so I really was looking forward to meeting with the Oilers, and yeah, it was pretty cool being able to walk into the room and like seeing the GM in there that you see on TV. So it was pretty cool experience that way.
Yeah, that's crazy. And did you get the question of there's a $20 bill on the rim of the toilet, but there's a $100 bill like in the toilet with and it's like really dirty. It's like, which one are you picking?
No, I didn't get asked that one.
Yeah, I think we interviewed last week we interviewed a guy who was picked by Nashville in 21, and he got that question.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't get too many hard questions like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's also like some like weird ones. I think like I always remember seeing Brian Burke when he was with the Oilers, and he would ask like what model is your watch or something, or what dog do you have,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. So just like some weird stuff that throws the guys off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but that's kind of the cool part of the NHL Combine.
Exactly. Yeah, it was a really good experience.
Yeah, totally, Max.
Yeah. So what is the process for you like now? Are you trying to like bump up your draft stock, and like how does that all work? Are you going to the draft? Like how's that all going for you?
Yeah, so now it's pretty much just a waiting game now. Can't really bump up the stock or anything at this point, but I'm excited for the process here. I am going down to Nashville for the draft. Me and my family and a couple of cousins of mine are going, so it's going to be a pretty cool experience. I think a pretty good place to have it in Nashville too. Just country city too, so it's pretty good. I'm excited to go. Pretty much the next month or so till the draft, I'm just training and skating pretty much every day.
Anything you're planning on seeing in Nashville, or just getting there like right before the draft?
We're showing up the day before. I think we're staying a couple extra days, seeing some touring and go see some live music and stuff like that.
Yeah, Nashville's a cool city. I've never been there. I went like when I went down to Tennessee, I was in Knoxville, which is like 2 hours out. But
Okay, yeah.
yeah, I heard it's a great city. My dad's a big music guy, so that's like on his big bucket list to go there. So that's
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to see some live music for sure.
Yeah, and the arena I heard is nice and everything. I think Max and I can't wait till it's till the draft's either New York or New Jersey.
Yeah,
So,
that'd be really cool for you guys.
yeah, because then we'll definitely find a way to get tickets and stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it'll be crazy. And yeah, I was gonna ask if you were gonna go down to the draft, but you kind of already answered that. So then I'm gonna ask like what would be the team that you want to pick, or that you want to pick you the most, and why? Pretty much like what's your favorite NHL team?
Yeah, so I grew up a Penguins and Oilers fan, so pretty cool to go there. But honestly, it's a pleasure to hear my name called by any team. Just growing up, being a hockey fan, watching a lot of hockey when growing up, and I think just kind of soak it in that day. And it's not really up to me now. It's what the team wants and what the team needs. So it's just a waiting game for now.
Yeah, totally, Max.
Yeah, Ben and I have heard stories about like players having like awful interviews and then getting drafted by that team, and then the complete opposite. They have great interviews with teams and they get drafted there. Is there any team that you think you had a good interview with that you think might pick you?
Yeah, I thought I had a couple good interviews. I think there's a couple teams that seem more interested than the others for sure. I think a team like Nashville or LA was really good interviews with them, and I think it'd be pretty good place to play in both of those cities. So I'm excited to see what happens.
I think if it's Nashville, you won't have to worry about the country music in the locker room.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, did the Rangers interview at all? I always have to ask them. A big Rangers.
Yeah, I did have a meeting with them.
That's sick. How'd it go?
It was good. Really, pretty much simple question. Just kind of get to know me, and yeah, I thought it went really well.
Who's in there? The GM and scouts, or?
That one was just the scouts.
Oh, got it. So GM Jury didn't show up.
No, not. I don't think he was there for the first day when I went in.
Yeah, I think he was busy figuring out who our new coach is going to be.
Yeah.
We found it out. We found out today. So thank God.
Perfect.
Yeah. Yeah. And Max, you want to turn it over? I'll turn it over to you for this one.
So I was looking at some of your clips on YouTube. Apart from you having like insane hands and stuff, I saw you had a 4-goal game, which is like incredible. So how do you like those performances? Is it you just kind of feeling it out there? Like how does that happen?
Yeah, it's just I think just the flow of the game. When you're feeling it, you're feeling good, and I just try to play the same every night. I try to bring my best effort every night, and if I'm not on the score sheet, then usually I'm a big hitter, and I like to get physical, so I try to get in the dirty areas.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I looked on the hockey writers. They always have a big draft guide. All like the top, I think 200 guys are on it, and said your strengths were the ability to drive the net, your playmaking, the offensive zone, your wrist shot, and your size. But under construction is your shot blocking, your consistency, especially late in the season, and having an explosive first step. So after hearing kind of what you need to work on from the hockey writers, what would you say you kind of need to work on the most to better your game?
Yeah, I think one of the biggest thing I need to work on is my skating. It's been a downfall my whole life, but yeah, I'm working with a couple power skaters now. Lots this summer, like 3 times a week, just about. So that's my goal, is just to become a better skater, because you get to the next level and it's just bigger, faster, stronger. So I think that's going to be the biggest jump for me is my skating.
Yeah, totally, Max.
Yeah, is there a player you grew up watching or a player like now that you really like try to model your game after?
Yeah, I grew up a Pittsburgh fan, so Crosby was always my favorite player growing up. But a player I really like to try to model my game after is like a Jerome McGinley, just a big, tough guy that can score some goals too. But another guy I look at is like a Jason Robertson, try to play like him.
Yeah, totally. And a while back, you played in the CHL Cup. And how did that go? Or the CHL tournament, or I think it was like Team White versus Team Red, something like that. It was a while back. Explain how that works and how'd that go for you?
Yeah, so it was a top prospects game in Vancouver there. It was pretty well. I think just the experience playing with the top CHL players, and looking back at it, there's a lot of guys that I knew and didn't really know, but made good friendships with them. So I think just the experience of playing in that game was pretty cool, and playing against the best players in Canada.
Yeah, that's great. And how's like the situation with like Americans? Are there many Americans in the CHL or not really?
There's a few. Each team usually has a couple. We didn't have any guys from the States this year. Last year we did, though.
Got it. Yeah, I know around here most guys go to the OHL and get drafted to OHL teams and stuff. And I think some guys from here eventually go to Shattuck. I know some guys I grew up playing with are now playing up in Shattuck, and they got picked by WHL. And I think 1 or 2 guys moved to New England, and they got picked in the queue. But mostly it's OHL, and definitely USHL. Everyone gets picked in the USHL draft.
Yeah, no, I think there's a couple guys from the States that are playing in our league in the WHL, just from western states there.
Yeah, Max.
Yeah, so I saw you had a couple of fights. This is a hard question, like weird question to ask, but like when you're fighting, like is it just like your emotions are like going everywhere and you want to fight? And then when you are fighting, like what's your first move?
Yeah, the adrenaline rush is kind of crazy when you drop the gloves. You kind of just don't think, and you're just out there swinging for your life, pretty much. But no, I'm pretty not the best technique fighter, but I'm a strong guy, so I'm pretty good at it. But yeah, I just kind of grab on and hope.
Yeah, I mean, I know Nathan McKinnon takes boxing classes during the off season, but do you ever take boxing classes or kickboxing?
I think took a couple last summer, and not really my thing, but yeah, they're really good for conditioning wise.
Oh yeah,
I really haven't practiced fighting, just kind of good at it when I tried it for the first time.
When you get back to the locker room, is everybody like, "Attaboy"?
Yeah, it's everyone's pretty happy for you. It fires the guys up for sure. So just a momentum swing as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely worth it. And I mean, what would be your goals for kind of going forward after the draft and everything, and kind of going into next year? I assume you're probably going to stick it out for another 1 or 2 years in the dub. So what would be your goals for the next few years?
Yeah, my goal for this year is to go back to Prince George and have a really good year and have a successful team year. I think we should have a pretty good team again, but hopefully I'm fortunate enough to make the jump up to pro hockey and play in the AHL when I'm 20, just to get some pro years under my belt before hopefully my goal is to make up the jump in about 3 years to the NHL.
Yeah, that's awesome. So it's a great goal. Many guys that we've interviewed hit that goal. Think it's very feasible. A lot of guys we've interviewed were like 4th round picks, and even below we've had a 7th round pick even make it to the show. And I mean, now he's the starting goalie in the AHL, but he played a little bit in Seattle, so that's a great goal.
Yeah, no, you get everyone has their own path, and some people develop late, and some people are early bloomers. So yeah, it's never set in stone, and anything can happen.
Yeah, totally, Max.
Yeah, I don't know if it sounds like a long shot, but you're coming off another great season. But if you put up 85 points, you'll be number 1 in all-time points for the organization. Is that something you shoot for, or you just kind of see how it goes?
Yeah, it's something you kind of just see what happens. I think you have goals at the start of the year that you want to hit, and looking at that one, it's a pretty big accomplishment. So looking at that, I think it's very doable, and it's a goal that I have and want to have.
Yeah, totally. And outside the hockey rink, like what would you do, or what do you do like with your family and friends over the summer? I know you mentioned the boat, but what else are like your hobbies outside of hockey?
Yeah, so off season, I spend a lot of time fishing and hunting, and then I'm a big golfer as well. So me and my buddies will go golfing, and my family usually goes camping a couple times a summer. So yeah, just some quality family time.
Awesome. Yeah, outside of my sport, big into like just lifting and kind of like working out, trying to better myself like mentally and physically.
For sure.
And yeah, that's kind of huge. And then like sports broadcasting, sports media is kind of stuff that's definitely really interesting. Also, Max, what about you?
Oh yeah, it's just kind of hockey 24/7.
Perfect.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
Yeah. So you were mentioning golf. Who's the best golfer you've played against?
Played with was Riley Height. He's like a scratch golfer. He's like a 2 handicap.
Wow.
So he's pretty good. So he kind of schools me.
Yeah, really. That's it's kind of. I'm not like big into golfing or anything, but I mean, don't really know how it works. All I know is like lowest number wins. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the only thing.
Opposite of everything.
Yeah. It's the opposite of like normal of like sports.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. My last question is, what would be a message for young forwards trying to make it to the next level, and how would you kind of approach it?
Yeah, I think looking back at myself, the advice that I would give myself when growing up is do the extra little things. I think you look at all the guys, and the successful guys start working out extra early, and they show up to the rink early. And I think just enjoy it. You only have that minor hockey career once, and even junior career once. So enjoying it's the biggest thing, and I think just wanting to be the best you can be.
Awesome, Max.
Yeah, I'd say if you look at the next year, what would you say you're the most excited for between like hopefully another playoff run, getting to work with this team for your 4th season? What would you say you're most excited for?
Yeah, I think just going back for training camp. I think everyone has the same mentality of wanting to make the team and make a good impact to the organization. Just build on that throughout the year, and then go into the year flying in playoffs and hopefully go for a long run.
Awesome. So Colin, it's gonna do with us. Thanks so much for joining, man.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, of course. And always to our viewers, thanks so much for watching, and be sure to like and subscribe, and always leave a comment. And we're definitely going to have way more interviews coming up over the summer. And thanks so much